go. I do believe we're live, so I'll say indeed and greeting unto you. Beloved and holy friends, what a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution, on another opportunity to take responsibility. At least that's what today's stream topic is about. I have been eating excessively, and I am responsible for the weight I've gained. And it is really as simple as that, today's stream topic, but I feel it is significantly more nuanced, right? Where weight or how fat we've become can be such a sensitive topic to discuss, right? With most people, especially so if you've been dealing with that kind of ridicule at some other point in your life, right? However, I have found, is that Jaju? Nice having you here, bro. I have found, Jaju, that by taking more responsibility for the things that I can feel offended by, I am less offended by them, right? Because then it doesn't become a almost like moral shortcoming of mine that I am or am not a certain way. It's more a matter of I have been making a mistake, and I am willing to admit that what you say stings, but would not be untrue. I have been letting myself go a little bit, as we say. There definitely is a stress eating response in me, where if I find myself almost like mentally pacing, I eat about it, right? Which is not a good coping mechanism, but it's one that works, I think. I think it's working against me as well a little bit, but either way, I accept responsibility. I do. Today I had some grapes and I had some dried meats and a mango. I guess the coffee counts. I had a coffee too. And I do believe that I'm going to go on an extended fast. I weighed myself just now. I'm sorry. I'll tell you how much I weigh in pounds. I was actually shocked. I'm still shocked. A part of me is in disbelief. I'm like, yeah, but my clothing weighs so and so, and I did drink a lot of water, and I also saw something something, and kilograms to pounds. Yeah, I'm 200 pounds. I have fish. I'm way 200 pounds. 200 pounds. 200 poundieth. It's somewhat muscle, okay. Damn it. I was doing a lean bulk, a bulk melty what? Yeah. Yeah, I consider my perspective. Why am I sensitive about my extra weight? Because of society. So I don't people I'm overweight. I say I'm death by snoo snoo shit because that's what affords me respect. It would, right? Because it communicates a certain self-awareness and it's you taking responsibility, right? The responsibility might be death by snoo snooing, but still there's responsibilities there. It's true. So you're not falling short in that way, dear Sam. Again, taking full responsibility for it. I think that would also be a point of contention because you might have taken responsibility and you might have started to work a little bit harder on your weight. And then someone says something insensitive and then it hits extra hard because, damn it, I've been doing all this work. Can't you see that I've been doing all this work? And then you get angry. What? Dude, I didn't think you were that big. You carry it well. Yeah. Yeah, the heaviest I've ever been was 103 kgs. 226, 240 pounds. Let me see. I'll do it on this one. 103. In in yeah, 103. Yeah, 227. That's the heaviest I've ever been. I don't think I'm going back there, and I do definitely look better, right? Like you can see for yourself. I do have. I got some, but I'm mostly carrying it well. Pets myself when I come back. That's yeah. I'm taking responsibility, even though it can be a little bit painful sometimes. Right? It was a conversation that I had with Christian as well. Christian is the one that got me into yoga, right? So he, in a way, carries some cosmic responsibility for my health journey. I did at one point work out in the gym, and I've kept most of my gains since those days, fortunately, because I continue to use my arms and stuff. However, yoga itself, just having a yoga mat to practice on, and that's it, has definitely robbed me of excuses. I have been robbed of excuses. I can't say, oh, madam, I need my gym. No, no, I don't actually need a gym. All I need is the thin little sliver that just makes the ground more comfortable. And technically, if you're like a psychopath like Christian, his yoga mat is the equivalent of freaking a latex glove. Okay, not exactly. It's like, but I'm serious, like 1 millimeter thick. I don't know what's that in inches. Uh, an inch is 2.4 ish centimeters. So 1/24th, 1/24th of an inch. Yes, I'm gonna make you do fractions now. That's how thick his yoga mat is. Where it just feels bad. I don't like it personally. However, with training like that, technically you could eventually just like do yoga on a floor. You could just do yoga on a floor. You don't care. Just do it anywhere. Just do it wherever you want to, yo. We have so many friends here in the space. Hey, Hunter and Learn Plays and Nawabi, Nawabis. Do you like playing with dogs? I mean, those that are playful, I guess. All right. Suddenly, my mind is just like going to the extreme of like, here, play with this viciously aggressive pit bull. If you like playing with dogs so much, here, play with this one. I always thought you were a tiny person. Really? Hmm. I mean, part of me wishes a little bit. I'm gonna start riding an EUC very soon, and the extra weight that I'm carrying right now means that I'll get like 7 less miles on a charge. That's the drawback for me, dear Jaju. My my goal, like my end goal when I'm in my 40s or whatever, is to be 88 and lean. Like 88 at 8% body fat kind of thing, which is what, like 190 pounds, 194 pounds, and lean. That's where I would like to end up, but I'm gonna have to be working on it a little bit more. I do believe that gym can help you sculpt. If anything, you can isolate a lot more, get a lot more specific with what it is you want to grow. But for maintenance, yoga does the job. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. And then someone says something insensitive. It's all about how you carry yourself in public. Certain people invite those kinds of comments by not being confident enough. It's true. Uh, I am very sensitive about stuff like that as well. All right. My response is usually like, I know. It's usually like, I know. I know. If you think you're gonna tell me something about myself, 10 Rand says, I've already told myself 10 times before you did. All right. And it is kind of like a taking responsibility, I believe at the very least. However, it can also be a little bit defensive, right? Say I know, but say I know confidently, as Sam said. All right. Get your advice here. Chuck Norris was dropped twice. Once, y'all see, do you play Roblox? I don't. When God said, let there be light, Chuck Norris said, say please. How many push ups can Chuck Norris do? All of them. When Chuck Norris does push ups, he pushes the earth down, not himself up. And then my all time favorite Chuck Norris joke is the I heard a story about a extremely venomous snake that bit Chuck Norris, and after 7 excruciating days, the snake finally died. Why? Why? Like the Chuck Norris jokes fell out of style a little bit. Maybe I think. Maybe it's making a comeback with the kids, but freaking Chuck Norris jokes. Yay. The fire we made yesterday is still throwing the occasional little smog at me. I don't like it. All right, Hunter, that's enough. We're not doing Chuck Norris jokes this morning. Me being an enabler starts making Chuck Norris jokes too. I'm done. I'm done. Please don't banhammer me, Sam. Good morning. Big love to the fam. Was I being insensitive? Uh, I didn't think so. I did say something about insensitivity. Maybe you missed that part. Sam maybe said something about that. Is that you copying? Oh, no. Who's Joe? I don't know Joe. River Coon is Joe. Joe is everyone and no one. No dear. One, I don't think you were being insensitive. I'm fine. How are things with you? Love is true. You must be, well, you must be really appreciated to be you. Uh, yeah, I'll say. I am grateful to be myself. I haven't ever been anyone else, so I can't exactly be the best judge of being, right? There's so much to be. And being me comes with its own challenges as well, I'll say. However, I've been able to manage these challenges, and the best thing I think for my challenge, and I think for all challenges, yours included, is to take more responsibility. See these challenges as things to overcome. I'm gonna make that little smoggy stop. Tell that little smoggy, that's not enough. Enough smoggies. I'm done. There we go. All right. Be right back. Nancy is here with us. Hey, friend. I was swimming in the waters. You're gonna get hurt. Are you all jacked up on Mountain Dew? Might be. I don't up these days. Oh, I mean, River, Coon, friend, we've been missing your presence, I'll say. And on top of that, you did go through a very painful experience recently. Can't imagine you not being a little bit jacked up about that. You want to talk about it? You want to tell us how you've been dealing with it? Maybe that could be actionable. What have you been doing as these experiences have been unfolding inside? Yeah, I'm not going to fill this entire vessel, it seems. Hope you like the sound of a stump sizzling. There will be stump sizzles. I think I'm gonna have to turn it so it actually gets water where it needs to. That's fine. Did I get it? I got the part that was smoking. That's not necessary. Unnecessary. I return everything to their places, and then I'll return to mine as well. All right. Returns I have. I just cry when I engage in describing it, so I'm trying not to get too deep. That girl fucked me up. Something fierce. So many levels of anguish that I have never experienced. Being human has its setbacks for sure. I wish you were here last night. I know it wouldn't have made all of your pains necessarily go away, but would have at least allowed you to not be completely alone in these feelings. Conversations were had last night. Kobe! I don't know what that is that he has, but it looks like plastic and I can't have him chewing on that. Sorry. Brother Joe, you're not in trouble. This just looks like plastic. What's this? Yep. Something they stole out of the trash can. Stötte Honda. Sorry about that. Back. Being coaxed out of hermitage and lived on, filled up, and valued just long enough to feel significant and then gone. I was relatively happy when I was alone. Again, echoing the conversation me and Christian trying to at the very least. How there is, unfortunately, no having love without potentially having pain alongside it as well. Right? That they seem to go hand in hand. And as some of us, especially in this space, there are multiple different forms of love. You know, agape and the brotherly love that I feel we have in this space for each other, right? Like a little family. Friends that are so close that we call them brother and sister. We're here for you, Jaju. Like, I wish I could say something that would make it easier, but I understand. Like, there's few things that hurts as much as disappointment, especially in a relationship sense, can. Right? Because I feel like that very much is the worst part of it. It sucks that the relationship ended, and that this person felt like they couldn't stick around. But the level of disappointment, the loss, right, in that way that you feel, especially as people. I wanted to say especially as men, but especially as people, we can find ourselves so capable of building this whole imaginary outcome. And that's one of the things that I said to Christian as well, is that we should allow ourselves to love without any outcome as an expectation. Right? Literally, I can love this person and want to be in a relationship with them. And sure, I would like the final outcome of we live our lives happily ever after, and then we die holding hands at the same time. Right? Very romantic outcome. However, if I refuse to love, if I can't have that outcome, the chances are I might never. And I will definitely not know for sure in the start. And I think that's where the real pain comes in as well, is that disappointment, in part sometimes, I'm definitely getting mosquito bitten here, by disappointment in the self, right? Where how was I so silly to not see this pain coming? How did I let myself fall this deep into love? How could I? Disappointment. You deserve love. And if she doesn't have the capacity to stay, then I'm sure there is someone else on their way, to say it eloquently. I know that that's not probably what you want to hear either right now, right? It's not about this next person that's potentially going to do it. It's about your moment. Here for you. Remind you that love is true. Nancy says, Joe, I don't know if this will be helpful, but I've been reflecting on and reading about the suffering of attachment and impermanence. It still hurts though. Wise concepts to explore. What you're saying is true, Nancy. I think that's what Joe was saying as well. I don't know if he's going to echo that, but he did have reduced attachment and a lot more acceptance, the permanence of his experience. And then with the acceptance of a partner into his life again, there was the attachment of the partner and then the want for it to be permanent simultaneously. Nobody wants to be with a person and actively look forward to the relationship ending already. Right? So it's like this dual whammy of human experience, as he says, despite the fact that it has some of its shortcomings. People can sometimes have shortcomings. People can sometimes be confused about what it is they want, what it is that's valuable to them. And ultimately, they are most valuable to themselves. And I feel like that's definitely where we find ourselves societally right now, where if someone doesn't believe that the value you add will enrich them, more often than not, they're not willing to engage. Especially as it relates to aesthetics and perceptions, right? I've noticed that that's so much more important to people than anyone wants to admit, even myself. We want to be perceived in a certain way. right? And if we have siblings or a critical mom or work colleagues or people we play board game with or my tennis friend, my gym buddy, if that friend says something that makes us feel like we're being misinterpreted, can cause a lot of anger, even, right? So much anger. And again, it's a matter of taking responsibility over that anger before it's let out. We talked about that a bit yesterday, right? Is that there is the possibility for there to be a gap between the stimulus, the thing that makes you angry, and then your response to that thing that made you angry. All right. The instantly start screaming, usually not the best response. Darren is here with us. Hey, Fred. It's nice having you here as well. Joe says, feeling empty is a terrible feeling. And even though I understand how I will endure and overcome this moment, it doesn't take away from the intensity of the now. Echoing that with you. Thank you for letting me bleed a little. I feel like I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. This arm, you can definitely see, right? There's the mosquito bite. Stimulus responds. I will now calmly explain to you how I'll take my revenge. The mosquitoes don't know what's coming, but they'll pay. They'll pay. I'm thinking about all of the things I'm gonna do. Love is true. Filling the now with absurdity has helped me. When I was in my most pained state, working out did do something for me. It was just something to fill that void, that emptiness, as you say. Push yourself right now. Use that pain. That's the only advice I can give, if anything. Something actionable, right? Put yourself in 5-minute planks until the plank becomes more painful than heart ouchies. And then if it's more painful, then stay there and focus. Focus on how much pain the plank is inducing instead of how much pain emotions are doing. Yes. Is this a woman or a woman? Are you talking about the cause, the cause of the pain? Uh, ultimately, by my standards and extremes, if you really want to stretch the notion of masculine and feminine, the masculine is the observer, right? Existence in and of itself, and Mama Gaia, the earth, is the feminine experienced, right? And a part of that experience can be pain. So maybe it is that part of us that gets hurt, right? The sensitive part. Your perception doesn't really get hurt. You can still see things. You can still taste food. You can still hear things, right? In that way, your perception is intact. However, you might see the world in a different way. And it is large in part to this lens through which you're looking, right? Depending on the foods you eat, how much you eat of it, depending on the things you do with your body, if you exercise, do some yoga, swim a little bit, go for a walk, depending on how much sunlight you've gotten throughout your day. There's so much that influence the way you see the world. And I feel one of the things that being hurt like this does to us is it can let us spiral one of each way, right? Either towards worse and worse, potential drinking, not sleeping properly, constantly distracting ourselves into insomniac patterns. Or we can take it personally, as as I like to say these days, and be like, actually, I'm gonna take such good care of me that the next woman that I fall in love with will value and be proud of me for having taken good care of myself. All right. Using the energy, even if it hurts. Thank you for listening to me, Brother Bear. I appreciate it. Thank you for telling us about the pain that you're going through, bro. It is real. Right? And I feel like that's the thing. That's one thing that we can look forward to finding in this space. Me and hey, bro. Me and Christian had some conversations last night about the rise of AI content, right? And it just being everywhere at this point, especially so in the shorts. Just saw a lightning strike. And how there gets to be this continued valuing of the human experience in this space, right? I'll continue being a human for the most part, right? And if I ever have any AI augmentations, that AI will be very tailored to be myself, right? What do you mean? Ask future me when it gets to that point. All right, I'll figure it out. There seems to be some more rain coming. We've been having such interesting patterns where it rains a little bit and then it stops raining, and then it rains a little bit again and it stops raining. A lot of cloud movement. Why are you so zoned in on something? Kobe is making me anxious with his eyes when he looks at stuff like. It's like, why is your gaze so intense? Some burbies flying over me. My therapy has been cutting down trees and having large fires. Made a fire last night. It does consume pain, I believe. You can give your pain to the fire. Yes, Melty, this moment has inspired me to improve my being. Thank you for spiraling upwards, bro. For realizing that the perception doesn't change, right? And whether you are feeling benefits or not, the benefits are still happening. It's a good thing to remind ourselves of as well. You have a lot more power than you sometimes give yourself credit for. It's going to be okay. I look forward to seeing you here again. Very soon I will come to America. Very soon me and you will be sitting around a fire together. And you can tell me a lot more about the constraints of these little chat windows, okay? Becoming a better version of myself so that I'm not taken back by something like this. That, and also for you to be, never mind even taken back, but I want to almost like use the word reassured. Reassured enough that it's not something that falls on you, right? I don't know how much of what happened you're taking onto yourself personally, right? But I know that that is something we do. We are very critical of ourselves, especially when it relates to these things, and wanting to be better as we go forward. But the one that experiences wants to continue experiencing. And ideally, we want to do so with able bodies, clear minds, and grateful hearts. Little by little by little by little. All right. Makes our whole lives. Using the turmoil to readjust the lens of necessity. Downloading this wisdom, bro. Recovery come with effort and responsibility. Rewinding and reflecting and recentering. You see, don't take it onto yourself. Take it as something that is, right? Look at it like rocks. I always bring it back to rocks. I have such a relationship with rocks. I like rocks. I like rocks a lot. Rocks talk to me. They have this their existence, like a statement, right? And I've been learning from life that many things have that same quality if you only had the perspective to see it, right? Because we're so in it when it comes to our relationships and our life experience, we don't have the same perspective of holding this life thing, this experience you just had as a shiny rock that is now part of your collection, right? Maybe this rock that you found was a sharp one, and the best part is you found that rock earlier in your life, right? And you really liked it back then, and you thought that that rock would, come in handy. I'm stretching this analogy a little bit later, and finding it again, I can imagine there was an extra like added layer of excitement, but it remains, right? The experience inside and the shininess of the rock sometimes hurts that we lose the shininess for ourselves, right? I, for example, put a piece of quartz in one of my water bottles, and because our water is as heavy as it is, calcite essentially built up a layer outside of my quartz, making my quartz less nice, less shiny, right? And I learned. It taught me something. I was like, neat. Thank you, universe, for pointing me in a direction, right? Because technically, I could keep doing that. I could keep putting my nice rocks in my water because I'm a hippie and I imagine it doing something. Don't judge me. And then I could keep essentially ruining my rocks, making them all cloudy, having a essential powder coating, because the crystals haven't formed before I start seeing it and picking them out. And then eventually have just a bunch of cloudy stones. But no, no. I learned from that one painful experience, and I've been able to keep my other stones more polished because of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry for steamrolling. No, no, no saying sorry for being a person, for having feelings, for needing space, wanting people to know that you're feeling things and wanting them to hold you. Here we don't apologize for being a person. We love you, dude. Hugs and shiny fruit to you. Love is true, bro. Joe, I think it's something we all go through, or will go through. No need to apologize. Here you go. Now you got two instances at the very least, telling you that your apologies are not necessary. Apologies are saved for misdeeds, right? When you err, when you sin, miss the mark of what our collective wants. You have not sinned in any way in here, bro. You have only allowed yourself to be authentically yourself. It's not always easy to be ourselves in these painful moments, but it will always be worth it to find ourselves on the other side. Taking responsibility for the now. Right now, what do I have control over? It's super hot today. I don't know if your friends have noticed that I brought a fan. I have a fan outside. I feel like a technomancer. Mm. One of these days, it'll be a suit that will circulate water and strip my body of body heat. But today, it's a fan, and I am logging around. I don't know if it's 20 pounds. It might be 20, like close to 20 pounds of batteries. It will be able to run that fan for like 24 hours, but c'est la vie. is how it is. This is the first time I've ever done this, and it feels like I should have been doing this the whole time. And it's something as small as that, right? It is a kind of responsibility taking. Nobody else is going to drag this stuff around for me. It does add an extra layer of responsibility on the other side, right? Because I have to make sure I carry this back inside and might start raining and I don't want the electronics to get wet. So taking responsibility will bring more responsibility, and that's okay, right? Especially if it improves your quality of life. Even more so if it improves the quality of lives of those around you as well. Mojo, here with us as well, says, Joe, you have lifted up so many of us in these streams. You have unlimited support here. Yeah. Lifetime membership, support plus. You paid your dues, bro. Love is true. Sharing here is not cause for apology. Now, if I had taken you into my house and found you getting high on bath salts or peeing in my sink, that would be worth an apology. Taking up space is not. I love how now you have four instances, Joe. And it's beautiful how we're all saying the same thing, and you can see the spirit of every person, right, coming to the same conclusion collectively. Community is exceptionally valuable. And it is something very ethereal as well, I believe. Especially since it comes with a whole layer of assumptions. We have definitely been conditioned by media to think about people coming together as cults, and these cults being bad and murderous, and people get killed in them, and right, negative association, negative association, negative association. And then there is in the traditional kind of like pipeline, the traditional religions, also places for communities to come together, but around this centralized idea. And that's the thing of importance. That's the thing to be worshipped. And I value the space that we've created here, and I do look forward to it continuing to evolve. My far end hope for this space is that it will literally be a circle that I open, not just a little window, right? And then, sure, the window might be framed on me in the circle as I'm presenting it. However, every single person that sits in the circle with me will actually be in that circle, right? Be it with VR goggle or, you know, a placeholder while you're watching it on a phone or whatever, right? And then you could look to the person next to you or the person that just commented something, and you can shift your positioning to be next to them. And then you can strike up a conversation with this person, the way Dan and Sam, all right, struck up a conversation on the Discord. Technically, it's possible in that way, but in order to make it a little bit more smooth and streamlined, I do envision the space continuing to evolve. All right, and as building these support networks, I'll continue to open the circle day after day, but the support you'll find in it won't exclusively be me. You can almost like trust that the person that joins you in this circle will have semi synchronized beliefs, right? Because we do show up in a certain way in this space. It can be a little bit polarizing, right? And I do believe I can work on that. I can be more inclusive of perspectives, and I trust that you friends will be as well. And as a result, people will see that and become friends, right? Make friendships that they would have never made before. Like Arpan, right? Arpan showed me something about humans coming together that I'm really inspired by. I look forward to how we'll continue to grow together as a community. Many thanks. Hi to you, Paul. Paul Mitchell, it's nice having you here with us too. We have been discussing taking responsibility. taking responsibility, realizing that there are some challenges to our experience as it is, and then taking full responsibility. Not seeing any state as a final sentence, but as a circumstance like any other, even like the good ones. Realizing that there is a certain impermanence in all experience, and that the best thing that we can do as an experiencer is to take responsibility over the actual experience instead of what happens in it. And you're like, what does that mean, Mel? It means waking up in a certain way, right? Doing things after you wake up in a certain way, eating certain things, right? Spending certain amounts of time escaping that loop that you might be in, right? Very much identifying as well. Identifying what in your experience adds value and what takes value from you. That's not necessary. I don't even know what they're barking at. I can't see anything. I can't hear you. Let me know if anybody else can't hear me. You might have to exit out and then come back again, but I'll do the same. Live again. I'm trusting it has to be. Today is a new moon. Good time to set intentions. I did not know that. A new moon. My intention is to move through this world with grace and patience. And while I'm asking, with charisma, I do want people to like me. And I want to be likable. And I take a lot of responsibility over being that way. The ashes are ashing. There might be some rain coming. But I find these winds as blessings. Wash over me likability. Wash over me charisma. Wash over me pleasantness. Wash over me patience. Consideration, kindness. Personability. Quick to rapport forming. I can hear you, but good. Thank you for letting me know. Love is true. I take full responsibility. I know that some people will perceive me the way they perceive me, no matter what I do. But I also take responsibility over the people that will see me the way I am. Right? And that's the part of me that I can't take responsibility over more than anything. I appreciate being here with you, friends. The wind is starting up. The rain will follow in 25-ish minutes, I'm guessing, is the timeline. But I ain't gonna risk it. I'm gonna read you, friends, a poem, show you a flower, and then say you a goodbye. I saw this little birdie today. I'll show you this as well before I say goodbye. A pygmy kingfisher? I think that's what they called it. Little pygmy kingfisher just flew into the house. The doggos almost got to it, but I got to it first and got to set it free after a photo shoot. Many years ago, I died. When I was in limbo between this body and the next, I was given the opportunity to ask the collective one question. I mustered the energy and brought forth a simple request. Curious. So cute. It is so cute, right? There's another one. I think you'll extra like this photo, Nancy. Shoo. Look at little. That's like a grown up. That's a little small little baby. Beautiful plumage. The photos don't do it justice, but the soft purples and oranges that it had on the side of its head was also very beautiful. Little Burby. Don't you fall over on me now. Oh, the wind is kicking up. So much so that I don't even know if I need more wind. No, I don't think I do. I think I've got wind aplenty. Joe, seriously, an near-death experience? Dang. I relate a lot to this, and I've told you a story of mine before, and I think I remember you saying you relate to it. I asked the collective, what is the meaning of living? And the simple answer that I received was, the meaning of life is to learn. Learn about all the aspects of what mortal life looks like. I've said this in stream before, and I feel maybe you'll be especially receptive to hearing it in the state of mind that you're in, Jaju, that being a human, choosing as a soul, and the unboundedness that that holds, to become a human being is one of the most painful, most absurd, most unbelievable, most dangerous in a way, right? Unthinkable experience that you can have, right? Other spirits see us doing what we're doing down here and like, you did what? You went down there and beat a human? You, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? And I was like, I needed to learn some shiznit though. I needed to understand what it is that's going on down there so I can be more equipped to help up here, right? As above, so below, after all. This is yesterday's flower. Nancy, fun fact, I have been announced clinically dead 3 different times. And I have a few questionable moments where I just woke back up after they started to panic. Not done just yet, bro. Quantum immortality. There's 3 different Jajus that did die. You're not one of them. And neither am I, Jaju. We won't die. Oh. This version of us that's here right now. Look at me. Ain't going anywhere. It's scary, a little bit, but it's also very exciting. Just think about how much we'll see. Unfathomably. Infinities. Oh, yeah. This is just training. This is just training. We're just getting good. We're just getting started. Love is true. Patiently practicing. Patience doesn't sit still. It builds. It is a quiet craft practice in rooms where nothing seems to be happening. Wood bending under steam, grapes becoming time, stars assembling themselves long after we've stopped looking up. At first, we mistake impatience for honesty. We think speed is sincerity, that urgency proves we care. So we push. We rush the kiln, crack the clay, call it truth when it breaks. But patience is a different intelligence. It knows when not to interrupt what is already becoming. It learns you the way rivers learn stone, not by force, but by staying, by returning, by letting friction do its slow, invisible work until shape appears. There is a moment when patience stops hurting, not because waiting ends, but because participation changes. You stop leaning forward. You settle into the chair of the moment and discover it fits. This applies everywhere, between people, between thoughts, between who you were this morning and who you are still assembling tonight. Patience teaches you that nothing meaningful arrives whole. Everything worth keeping enters in pieces out of order, needing space to make sense. Eventually, patience becomes playful, a trustful with reality, a willingness to say, I don't need to finish this feeling right now. A confidence that what is real will still be there when you arrive. And then something astonishing happens. The world starts meeting you halfway. Not because it changed, but because you learned how to stand still without disappearing. That is the magic, not waiting, not enduring, but discovering that patience is the art of staying open long enough for life to recognize you as someone safe to unfold within. I thank you, friends, for actively unfolding here with me still. Little by little, day by day, step by step, we take moving forward towards a better future. Not because we know with absolute certainty that it will be so, but because believing anything else is not worth our time. I realized I take death too personally. It's part of life still. Yeah, watching a flower wilt, right? If you can completely abandon all your judgment, you can see beauty in the decay as well. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Melty, we must be masochistic to choose being a human. Yeah, we, I believe we specifically are the masochistic version that continues to choose it, right? There are many different instances of the self that exist simultaneously, right? It's nonlinear and infinitely expansive, right? Faster than imagination can keep up, I kind of imagine. And this particular soul is the one that continues at the edge of creation, right? That like sharp spear's tip that cuts through reality, taking the most brunt, the most hits, the most sheer forces, the most hurt. Right? And you can melt away, but we melt more, don't we? Love that poem, Melty. I knew you would, bro. I'm so happy that you were here for it. Thank you for lending me your ears. Mm-mm-mm. Feelings do be like that. Death weighs heavy on me as well, Nancy. Understanding it logically doesn't take away from the emotional draw that it holds. This might be one of those unhealthy coping mechanisms people talk about, but I deal with death and the thought thereof. I take responsibility, if you will, by entertaining curiosity instead of fear. All right? What is? What is going to happen when I die? Instead of what is going to happen when I die? All right? Responsibilities. You got great power, after all. You have feelings and the ability to shape others. Oh, hey, Hubs wants to know, you need more warm shit still. If he has extra to give, I'm sure I'll need some. I do know that Joe's mom bought me a coat already. How nice. You know, she's like, here's a coat for him. He's gonna need it as soon as he lands. Here, make sure. So I appreciate it. Sam, thank you for wanting to bless me. If there's anything that he's not wearing, right? I'm not opposed to wearing something out of style or old. You know me. I'll rock it. I'll do layers. Melty will become an ice cube in the States. I hope so, bro. I hope that every little bit of fat that I have will melt. That all that will remain is healthy brown fat that keeps me warm and jacked at all times. I might have to increase my calorie intake. That I'm not looking forward to. But I'm gonna go hunting. I'm gonna go get the food in the forest. Go grocery shopping like this. I'm looking forward to whatever the experience holds. That might never happen, but I like entertaining the idea. Love is true. Thank you, friends. You might want thermal undies. I have some. My sister bought me a thermal, like second skin. Yeah, so that I can basically put on a thing to stay not cold. Do this in South Africa. A coat. That's cute. Hey, bro. She lives there. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna have clothing on. I'll put clothing on myself. I'll tell you, there will be clothing on my body. You need layers, bud. I have layers. I got layers. I got so many layers. All the layers. All of them, actually. I'll be fine. Don't you worry about me. Worry about me a little bit. Pray for me, as we say. Right? Be sending me warm thoughts. And I'll be fine, right? I don't think the chances of me dying, even if I just like kept living in the clothing that I have right now, is very low. Right? Again, I'll just use a lot more energy to stay warm, which in my mind is like sick. I'll take that. And I can, you don't know how cold it is. I've experienced cold, thank you very much. I've experienced as cold as it's right now, pretty much average. Let me see. Right now, where Joe is, let me tell you I'll tell you how cold it is. Yeah, it's 5 degrees Celsius. That's fine. It's cold. Don't let me get me wrong. Still cold. But the coldest it's gonna be, let me see. Yeah, the coldest it's gonna be this whole week is -2. And that's like morning hours. Alright? I'm gonna be so bad. It's actually getting warmer there, it seems. Like the forecast is it's going up to 18 degrees Celsius by Thursday, which is like straight up just nice temperature. Like I won't be wearing any coat at that temperature. Okay, I don't know why, but I think it was like not properly updated. But it did just update, and it's now calling me on the cap that I was just. It's -11 and -12 there. I have never experienced -10 degrees Celsius. This I'll say. However, it's -10 right now, which is the morning hours. All right, fine, fine, okay. I'm scared. I'm, I'm officially scared. Actually, no. Actually, I exude oodles of confidence in my ability to stay warm. I do have layers. I'm just imagining. I'm gonna fucking need that. I'm a tropical creature too. I have family up the way. I know about some of that junk. multiple clothings, and then more clothing. It's because it is around the temperature that you could find yourself outside right now, and it's minus 10 degrees Celsius there. That's a lot of minuses of degrees of Celsius. Have you been praying? Yeah, you should be praying twice as hard. I'm not praying hard enough. It's just yeah, the warmest it's going to be tomorrow, which is her Monday, is going to be -7. That's going to be the warmest all day. Stop looking at me like that. I can feel Sam. Sam is taking like some sort of guttural, like, yeah, it's finally sinking in. We got him. No, 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 you didn't get me. I've been ungotten. How do you know? -10 equals cold AF. Yeah, it's swallows spit. At least the humidity is still relatively high. I don't know if wet cold is better than dry cold, but I imagine it's better for my sinuses. I did hear that the humidity during the summer can be pretty brutal as well, though. Let me see. -10 Fahrenheit. And then tomorrow, the warmest it's going to be for her is 44 Fahrenheit. Hey, the rain wants to start. I did intend to finish stream by now, and then we got caught in the cold AF fractal. As someone who lives near the ocean, wet cold is not better than dry cold. I mean, at least I won't be near the ocean, technically, but I still think 80% humidity is going to be a little bit not dry. Dehumidifiers might have to be Raneth or something. Melty, if it gets bad up the way, I will still have a place in the tropics for you to escape to. Love is true. South Africa is not going anywhere either. I know it's gonna be not exactly a hop, skip, and a jump in that way, the way the tropics will be. But we'll collectively grow our repertoire of places, right? And if a certain space increases the intensity of discomfort, we can go somewhere else a little bit. Maybe we'll live nomadics. Joe, uh, it's cold. I just went and checked how cold it is where you are, and the fact that it's -10 degrees Celsius there right now, it's shocking. My bones be shiver. Like the coldest it's gonna be right now. Like let me. Why is this thing not minus? There we go. It's 14 Fahrenheit there right now. 14 Fahrenheit. Like that. That sounds. That sounds by a coat. Is klinkt bij a coat. Ongelooflijk. 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 This birdie is watching me like, what are you on about, bro? I think it's sinking in. I think it really just hit me that it's cold where Joe is right now. Tomorrow apparently it's gonna be a cold day as well, Joe. I'm sending you so much warmth. It's nice to have you here for a moment. We've done the flower and poem. Absolutely cackling. Stop. How about you start praying and stop cackling? That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say, Sam. Thank you very much. I'm going to say goodbye now, okay? Love is true. I thank you, friends, for joining me. Is there skiing or snowboarding where Joe is? Not too far away, yeah. Like, I think an hour drive. There's a place that does skiing or snowboarding stuff during the season. There is Nancy. There it is. Joe knows. She's told me about it. That she actually wants me to. She wants to take me to do something like that as well. Quef will literally landing above me as Joe is here as well. Yeah, yeah, Queffer. Yeah, yeah. Wonder if you're able to see him in the trees back there. It was nice having you friends here. It's like 15 minutes away, actually. Yo, call me a liar. Closer than I thought. Yeah, I will ski for the first time at some point as well. Make good out of the cold. Teddy says it'll be 28 degrees when you land. You'll be fine. Just don't be a wuss. 28 degrees Celsius, I'm not imagining is the right answer. 28? Yeah, minus 2.22222. How about that for synchronicity? Of course. As I land, it must be minus 2.222222222222222222. Yeah, that's fine. It's gonna be a little bit shiver me timbers, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, Joe, I can't handle it. Take me back to South Africa. No, I don't think so. I just checked. We land in Chicago. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that was a part that needed to be said. Oh my GBs. It's gonna be 16 degrees in Chicago. Six -8. So I'll unlock new coldest I've ever experienced as one of my first American experiences. Sweet. Sweet news. New news. Me and Joe like talking about having new experiences, right? Firsts. So it's gonna be my first time ever experiencing that cold. Boom. I've shed it here because it felt so cold. And it freezes. Kind of 28, 16, 6 of 1. You're still gonna freeze the family jewels out. Nope. No. No. Men have superpowers, I'll say. They will not freeze off. No. It starts smoking weed about it. That stump really doesn't want to stop freaking smoking. Oh, it's smoking again. It was so nice spending this moment with you friends today. Mentally preparing myself for the fact that literally 10 days from now, right? I'll be experiencing -8 degrees Celsius temperatures. Feels a little bit uh, surreal, especially since I carried a fan outside to blow on me during the heat of the day because I was like not having a good time. And yeah, I'll share that with you friends too. Part of me wants to just to spite Sam, not say a single thing about how cold it is, my first stream in America. Not a single word, right? Not even so much as a shiver, right? Hopefully you forget by then. Hopefully I forget about it by then. That Chicago cold can cut straight through you. Somehow you won't be able to help it. Nope. I'm just gonna be super cool about it. I'm gonna be the coolest. Find out. Find out for yourself if Melt can be cool enough to not mention the cold. Totally. You're a dick, man. I've earned that satisfaction. You see, that was actually the response I was looking for. I think you should go live when we get there. That could be fun. It is gonna be pretty early, right? So it might even be around my stream time. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Be like, welcome, welcome America, myself. What? Yes. What? Is this all you got? As I walk outside, turns around, walks back inside. I ain't got what it takes. All right. I love you. Thank you for joining me. My mom and my dad is back. My sister is at Eerstejaarskamp, first year camp. Can I go back? Start monkey shaking at one of the airplane doors. Love is true. I'm gonna be fine. Joe is gonna show me how to stay warm. She knows all the tricks. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you again real soon. Tomorrow. I love you. Until we do it again, all right?